Hi, welcome back to Always Be Upgrading. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer, and I did a couple of videos on this topic, and this is just the first of the follow-ups. So in one of my videos, I mentioned that between careers and marriage and kids, I kind of lost myself. I really didn't invest the time in hobbies. And now that I'm going through this midlife reset, I'm not really sure I know what I like to do, what brings me joy. So I asked my kids to come up with a suggestion of me to try a hobby or a new experience, something new that I haven't tried before. And my youngest came up with a great idea. It's something I've always actually wanted to try, but never did. It was a pottery class. So, of course, being me, I immediately thought of the movie Ghost, the scene of the spinning wheel and the beautiful music and the seamless artistry. In my mind, it was going to be incredible. I'd create a masterpiece, impress the instructor and my family, maybe even a museum curator. I mean, the fantasy was real. Here's the problem. That's how my mind works. I set these epic expectations and then reality, right? I mean, guess what? I wasn't amazing. And in fact, pottery is really hard. It turns out that before you can make a bowl, you have to center the clay, like really feel it, which our instructor said actually took them years to master. And you have to keep the clay moist, but not too wet, firm, but not dry. I mean, and then you have to move with it, not against it. And then when you rush, well, let's just say the clay lets you know. So I rushed. I pushed too hard. Literally, I have scabs on my fingers from the friction. I tried to skip ahead to force something into existence, and instead, my bowls fell apart. I overwatered, and it couldn't stay centered. I mean, literally and emotionally. So I will show you some clips of me making pottery and the outcome, but out of the 8 attempts, only 3 of them resembled something somewhat of a bowl. I mean, and then the others, yeah, those were total disasters. And yes, I compared my results to everyone around me. That's another video that I'm working on about external validation and why I crave it. So stay tuned for that. But something happened when I slowed down, when I accepted the help from the instructor, and when I closed my eyes and I just felt the clay. I made something that looked kind of like a bowl. I mean, it wasn't museum worthy, but it was mine. So it was really cool to see that if I just took the time and had patience, I can actually create something. We didn't get to keep our pieces because this was a beginner class. So everything went back into the studio to be reused. But I snapped a photo of the mound where my little creation sat. I mean, I put my stuff on the top of this mound, and that picture, that was my victory. So here's what I learned. Patience matters, and help matters. And sometimes doing something alone is exactly what we need to do to grow. So was it fun? Absolutely. I mean, once I got out of my own head, it became really enjoyable. Was I a natural? Absolutely not. Would I do it again? I think so. I'm still trying to decide whether to sign up for the full 10-week course where you actually get to fire your creation and glaze it and then bring it home. But the experience, it was really worth every wobbly bowl and whatever it was that I created. So I have a question for you. If you ever put pressure on yourself to be perfect at something new, or thought you had to be instantly amazing, this is your sign to try something new and try it anyway. I mean, be a beginner, laugh at yourself, and maybe even get a couple of scabs in the process. And have you ever tried something new that didn't go as planned? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure and my life reset. I thank you so much for being here. I'm curious to see what my other two children come up with as far as suggestions. And in my previous video, I mentioned that I will have them send it to my husband secretly. And then he will let me know, or I'll read it on camera and film it to see my first reaction. And then I will do what their suggestions are. A couple of caveats though, is it can't involve any bodily harm and it needs to be something accessible for me to get to. But other than that, I look forward to seeing what they have in store for me next. Thank you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, everyone. Bye.